What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Wright.
And together, we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics. We want to continue our NFL preview. Next up is the NFC South. And I'll start it off with the New Orleans Saints. They did go 7-9 last year. Of course, that was out Sean Payton, but he's back after the 1-year suspension for the bounty thing that they had going on down there. They also brought in Rob Ryan to run that 3-4 defense, so they're switching from the 3-4. They added Kenny Vaccaro, a rookie from Texas. Teron Armstead, he ran a 4.640 for offensive lineman. That's kind of unheard of. John Jenkins, the big nose tackle from Georgia. Keenan Lewis, cornerback from the Jaguars. And Jim Leonard, who's a great safety. He also does punt returns. Of course, the offense is led by Drew Brees. He threw for 5,000 yards last year with 43 touchdowns. Sean Payton is back, so I expect Drew Brees to have a better year. Also, Jimmy Graham, the great tight end for them. He was injured last year with a wrist injury. He's healthy and good to go, so expect better numbers for him. Marquise Colston, he's going to be his usual self. Lance Moore, he's the vet there with great hands. Sproles, Ingram, and Thomas, so that gives him that three-headed monster back there. My only question is about the Saints offense is going to be their offensive line. And on defense, again, Rob Ryan, he's going to bring that swagger to him as they switch from the 4-3 to the 3-4. They did pick up Victor Butler through free agency, but unfortunately he tore his ACL. So look for Cameron Jordan to step up. He did end up with 10 sacks last year. Also, John Jenkins, he's going to hold down that nose tackle position, which is real important when you're running the 3-4. They got a great cornerback there in Patrick Robertson. He's their best corner. He's going to go with Kenny Vaccaro at the safety. Also, Malcolm Jenkins, and Romaine Harper, the OG of the bunch. So I think the secondary will be pretty solid, but it all starts with that front seven. They're going to need to get more pressure on the quarterback and also be able to stop the run. My prediction for them is that they're going to go 9-7. My rookie for them, the breakout rookie, of course, is going to be Kenny Vaccaro. To me, he was the best safety in the draft. And my player to watch, a lot of y'all don't know, but look out for Nick Toon. He's the son of the former Jet great Al Toon. He spent all last year on the practice squad and on injured reserve. He's from Wisconsin. I expect for him to catch a lot of balls there from Drew Brees. Now we're going to move on to the next team, the Atlanta Falcons. All right, what you think about the Atlanta Falcons coming up?
Oh, wow, Atlanta Falcons. I mean, you were 10 yards away from the Super Bowl. Michael Turner got hurt. I mean, you got a great coach. You got Mike Smith there. I love him. He's a great coach, even though I am a Tampa fan. But, you went 13-3. You were pretty much running first place pretty much the whole year. I predict about 12 to 14 wins, going into this next season, 2013. You have multiple Pro Bowlers, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, he is great. He does get criticized once in a while, doesn't make the big play at the right time, but I think he kind of got over the hump a little bit last year. He won a playoff game, so he's moving forward. Julio Jones, my favorite young wide receiver in the NFL. You got Tony Gonzalez. He said, I'm going to retire, then I'm coming back. He pulled a little Chip Kelly on him, and then, he had decided to come back a little bit, so I'm happy about that for them. And they picked up Steven Jackson. What a huge pickup. I mean, he is at the end of his career, but Michael Turner, he ran out of gas, and he got hurt, and that was a big reason why they lost. Now you got a guy that's got less miles, on his legs. He should be able to give him maybe that extra hump to maybe get to the Super Bowl. It's not, a 100% fact that it's going to happen, but maybe at least an NFC Championship game if they can keep moving forward. But they did have some questions on the O-line. Tyson Clabo, he got released. He was their right tackle for, a few years. So now you got Lamar Holmes or maybe Mike Johnson. Someone will step up and take that spot. And another one, too, that's really important is Todd Mcclure. He was their rock. He was their center for quite some time. He got, he didn't get released, but he retired. So he's gone, So now Peter Kahns, from Wisconsin, he's going to shift over to center. So we'll have to see how that works out. Tony Gonzalez, like I was mentioning, is coming back. John Abraham's gone. So they picked up OC, Umanura, from the Giants. Still a great player, not elite like he used to be, but very solid starter. So that should obviously help them. And then as far as draft picks, Desmond Trufant. I think he's my favorite corner. I got Jonathan Banks on Tampa, but Desmond Trufant, he's got good lineage. He's got brothers in the NFL. Trufant legacy. You know what I mean? He's from UW, University of Washington. That's for for you, Kellen, Mr. Kellen Alley. I know you love him. And they also got right, and they also got Robert Alford, another corner. I think he's kind of a surprise player too. These two corners, he's going to probably be a potential nickel corner, so he might not get a lot of the playing time right away. But those two guys might end up being starters together at one point. And I think with that team, with the collective unit that they have, watch out. Big things for Atlanta. I predict them to win the division. Even though I am a Tampa fan, but I predict them to win the division, and they should win it pretty easily. And look for them to make big moves and move forward as we obviously go into 2013-2014 season.
All right. Next up, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers. They picked up Ted Ginn to run back kicks for him. Dominic Hickson from the Giants there. He had over 500 yards with 45 receptions last year, 3 touchdowns. In the draft, they picked up star Lua Tele, big D tackle out there, and also Kewan Short. On offense, the Panthers, they're going to go as far as Cam Newton takes them. He started last season with 5 TDs and 8 interceptions, and as a result, they only went 1-6. But towards the end of the year, he went 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and they went 5-1. The offense, they brought in Mike Shula to help them out with their offensive schemes down there. Steve Smith, he's still going strong. He's an OG veteran of the wide receiving group. Greg Olsen, he's a good tight end there. He had 69 receptions, 843 yards, 5 touchdowns. But other than that, who else is going to step up in their receiving core? Brandon LaFell, out of LSU, they drafted him. He had 44 receptions, 677 yards, 4 touchdowns. But they're going to need more from you if the Panthers are going to compete out there. And in the backfield, they got Jay Stu from the O. He only averaged 3.6 yards a carry last year. Come on, Jay Stu. You better than that. And then you go D'Angelo Williams, who's getting kind of old up there. He's approaching that 30 age mark for running backs, which is no good. He's been inconsistent, and they put a lot of money into their running backs in Jay Stu and D'Angelo Williams.
Picked up Kenyon Barner from the O also, so that'll help out a little bit.
Yeah, they also picked up Kenyon Barner, which will be able to come in there and give them some great plays there. And step your game up on the running backs. That's what y'all need to do, basically. And for the defense, of course, Luke Kuechly. He is the one-man gang. He's the star of that group. You got Charles Johnson on your D-line, great pass rusher, potential Pro Bowler. I expect Josh Norman, their cornerback, to step up in his second season to make a lot more plays. John Beeson, where are you?
Disappeared.
I got you on my all-milk carton team, bro. I hearted you for a minute, man, but you've been missing the last couple of years. Also, Thomas Davis. You've been injured too, tore your ACL the last couple of years. If they can stay healthy, those linebackers will help the Panthers be respectable. Of course, I expect them to go 6-10 again until they get Cam Newton some help out there. My rookie is going to be Star Luatele, the baby Nata. He's going to be disruptive. He's going to get after the passer, and he's going to stop the run. And my breakout player is Josh Morgan, the cornerback. He was kind of raw last year, but everybody saw his potential. And I think he'll be able to step his game up and make some plays this year. Now, Ryan, what about you for your Tampa Bay Bucs?
Oh, wow. So Tampa Bay, you went 7-9. I haven't made the playoffs since 2007, so I'm due. Tampa Bay Bucs, Greg Schiano, he got a lot of criticism with the, going for that little rush on the Giants there, after the game was over, and that caused a little bit of controversy. But, Mark Dominic, my GM, I love him. Schiano, I love him. He's got that edge, that grittiness. That's what I need. But Josh Freeman, this is your year. This is your rookie contract year. If you make it, you're going to get that extension. If you don't make it, Mike Glennon, he's going to be my new guy, and he's the rookie that I got out of NC State. So the pressure is on, but there are some good pieces in place. Doug Martin, in my opinion, top 3 running back in the NFL. The Dougster, the Dougie, all that, the Duggernaut. I mean, there's so many nicknames for him, but he's great. He can catch really good out of the backfield. You got a few people that they picked up. You got Mike James from the U, so you got him as a rookie as well. You just picked up Peyton Hillis. He's been kind of MIA, missing in action for the last couple years, but I got him on a 1-year contract today, so we'll see how that goes. You got Pro Bowlers like VJax. I just signed Mike Williams. To me, one of the best, secondary wide receivers, that's in, the whole entire NFL. I got a 6-year, $40 million contract. So I got him locked up for his prime, and I'm really happy about that. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then for third string option, Tyquan Underwood, Richard Gatewood's, obviously protege that he works with. I like him. You also picked up Kevin Ogletree from Dallas. Obviously that might be a player that goes for special teams if he doesn't make that third string wide receiver spot, so I might be able to use him as well. Injuries. I mean, that's what I've had for years and years and years. I had Davin Joseph and Carl Nix. Those are 2 Pro Bowl guards that I had go out for the whole season last year. Just imagine if Doug Martin actually had guards to block for him. I mean, he could have even made more incredible stats and incredible, runs, just like Alfred Morris did, obviously, for the Redskins there. So I'm hoping for them to stay healthy. Coming back from that injury, you got Donald Penn, who's been a former Pro Bowler as well. So I got 3 potential Pro Bowl players that on the line, so I like that. And then as far as defense is concerned, you got Gerald McCoy. He was injured for his first 2 years. Had a nice Pro Bowl year last year. I expect him to continue that dominance, to be known as one of the best D tackles besides Ndamukong Suh. Even though he's a little dirty player, but I think obviously Gerald McCoy is on that level. And then I expect for breakout players, Daquan Bowers and obviously Adrian Claiborne. And these are other players that I've had that were hurt also. And I expect, big numbers from them, at least somewhere between 8 to 10 sacks for each. That'll be a key, obviously difference for me being able to make the playoffs at 10-6 at a wild card, or maybe going 8-8 or 9-7 and missing it. I love Levante David, linebacker from Nebraska, Mason Foster from UW as well. They're great. One key breakout player that people don't know about is Akeem Spence. I picked him up in the draft. He's going to be my starting D tackle next to McCoy. McCoy's going to bring him on, show him the ropes, but he's really big. He's physical. His hands are great. His footwork is great, so I expect big things from him. I also got William Goldson from Michigan State, DN, to fill in some depth for obviously Daquan Bowers and Adrian Claiborne. But the most exciting part, I think, of my team is my secondary. I actually got a secondary. Seattle Seahawks, watch out. I'm coming. Darrelle Revis. It is no longer Revis Island. It is Revis Bay. It's been changed. It's already done. I got him, top 2 corner in the league. He is coming off the ACL tear, but he is already ready right now. He's cutting in camp. I've seen film. He looks great. I also stole Deshaun Goldson away from the Niners, Pro Bowl safety. So now I got 2 Pro Bowlers in my secondary. I did have Ronde Barber retire, which hurt a little bit. My heart broke a little bit when he said he's going to leave. But I do have some other pieces there, like Mark Barron at safety. I think he'll be a potential Pro Bowler very, very soon from Alabama. Like I was saying before, if you go to Alabama, you are great. I mean, who is not great from Alabama, especially on the defensive side of the ball? So I expect big things from him. But most exciting, I think, is Jonathan Banks. So I got Jonathan Banks. He's from Mississippi State. He wasn't the first corner drafted. I think Desmond Trufant is better from Atlanta, but I think he can gamble a little bit. You got 3 star players around you, so he can gamble a little bit. I did have Eric Wright. We had this potential trade, with the Niners. He had PED usage last year, suspended for 4 games. He just got a DUI, traded to the Niners. The Niners declined the trade. He failed the physical. He came back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we released him. So we're moving on. So now we got our starting secondary. I'm really excited about that. Leonard Johnson will be my nickel. I like him as well. He was undrafted last year, 3 picks. Great player. But the only downside to my team so far is my kicker, Connor Barth. We mentioned this last week. You played in a celebrity basketball game. You are not a celebrity. All right? You tore your Achilles. You're out for the year. I ended up getting Lawrence Tynes from the Giants, so at least I got a decent backup. Yeah. He's pretty good, so we'll have to see where that goes. But I do predict, it may be kind of crazy talk, because I'm a Tampa fan, but I predict 10-6, that last wild card spot. I expect the Niners to have 1 wild card spot, Tampa Bay to have the last one. 6 seed, 10-6, if they stay healthy. If they don't, then that's totally out of the question. But I'm hoping, praying, since 2007 that they can make it. And as long as they take care of business, I think I can get there. All right.
Now that's our NFC South preview here. You can follow me on Twitter at @MarcusHill_NWSF.
And Ryan _NWSF.
Hit us up on Facebook.com/NW Sports Fanatics.
And we want to make sure we thank our sponsors and all our fans. We appreciate all the support and love that we're getting.
All right. Also, I want to shout out, we got over 500,000 views on our Facebook page. Thanks for the love and support. Keep checking us out. We're going to keep coming at y'all with the videos and that great sports analysis. Shout out to Banner Bob.
Yep. Banner
Can't
Bob.
forget about Banner Bob. Hit him up at signshack.net. Again, my name is Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together
we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics.